Top Secret was released in 1984 at a time when American audiences craved comedic parodies brimming with slapstick humor and sight gags. David Zucker, Jim Abrahams, and Jerry Zucker had already scored a massive hit with Airplane just a few years earlier. This time, they decided to spoof old spy thrillers and Elvis-style musicals, an odd combination, but one that delivered fast-paced jokes and a surreal sense of fun. Though it wasn't a runaway box office success, the movie has since gained a dedicated fan base for its clever wordplay and blink-and-you'll-miss-it jokes. Now, let's dive into 30 behind-the-scenes stories that shine a spotlight on Top Secret. 1. Kilmer sang all vocals himself. Did you know that Val Kilmer was so determined to master the rock star role in Top Secret that he recorded his own vocals for those Elvis-inspired musical numbers? Before he played Batman or Jim Morrison, Kilmer was Nick Rivers, leaping around in neon wetsuits for the unforgettable Skeet surfin' scene. This was Kilmer's first feature film, and from day one he insisted on singing everything himself to get that authentic vibe. Directors David Zucker, Jim Abrahams, and Jerry Zucker, famously known as Zaz, admired his enthusiasm, joking that if he kept it up, he might actually become a chart-topping idol. 2. Spoofed spies and Elvis musicals Top Secret debuted in 1984, hot on the heels of Zaz's success with Airplane. Instead of mocking disaster movies, they set their sights on spy thrillers and Elvis musicals, merging them into a fast-paced, pun-laden spectacle. It was a tough sell at first. Some studio heads grumbled that audiences wouldn't grasp a film that lampooned both Nazis and 1950s rock. But Zaz believed that if they fired off enough jokes, from random sign gags to comedic songs, people would come along for the ride. Despite not matching Airplane at the box office, the movie has since found a devoted cult fan base who appreciate its zany mashup of genres. 3. Original title wasn't Top Secret. The original working title wasn't Top Secret at all. It might have been Secret Service or Drastic Measures. The Zaz team kicked around multiple ideas, but eventually settled on Top Secret because it sounded both spy-oriented and playfully generic. The studio thought it was too plain, but the creators insisted it was perfect, capturing the film's breezy, comedic tone. Years later, fans can't imagine calling it anything else. 4. Kilmer's goofy tape got him cast. Val Kilmer's audition included a goofy homemade videotape of himself as Nick Rivers, complete with 1950s wig and swagger. The production had scoured for someone who could sing and do comedic acting. When they saw Kilmer's tape, they realized he had that special spark, a mix of sincerity and irony that Elvis impersonations require. Even so, Kilmer recalls being nervous about comedic timing, having previously done mostly stage or drama work. The set quickly became his comedic playground. 5. Set felt like cartoon chaos. Lucy Gutteridge, cast as Hilary Flamand, later said working on Top Secret felt like living inside a cartoon. On any given day, she'd witness a chaotic stunt like a cow wearing boots or a lounge singer flipping on a watery stage. The comedic mania was endless, and the directors encouraged actors to treat each scene like a theatrical farce. Gutteridge admitted it was at times bewildering. She'd open her script in the morning only to see new jokes scribbled in the margins. 6. Skeet Surfin', filmed on Real Beach, the famous opening number, Skeet Surfin', was filmed on a California beach with real surfers and genuine clay targets whizzing overhead. Crew members teased that it was the weirdest beach party they'd ever attended, especially once Kilmer started crooning about shooting skeet while riding a wave. The scorching sun made the set a sweatbox, but the final product was a brilliantly silly introduction, letting viewers know the film wasn't going to shy away from bonkers visuals. 7. Sharif loved the absurdity. Omar Sharif, legendary for roles in Dr. Zhivago and Lawrence of Arabia, shocked fans by agreeing to do a cameo as Agent Cedric. People on set half expected him to question the movie's absurd premise. But Sharif embraced the chance to do a comedic part, saying he rarely got to flex that muscle. He found it refreshing to be in a film that took absolutely nothing seriously. The cameo is short but memorable, with Sharif delivering lines that wink at his storied dramatic past. 8. Cushing shot a scene in reverse. Peter Cushing popped up as a bookstore proprietor in a famously mind-bending sequence. The entire scene was shot backwards. Everyone, including Cushing, had to speak their lines in reverse. The final footage, when reversed in editing, creates a surreal effect where everyone's mouth movements look off-kilter. It took multiple takes to get right, but fans still marvel at the quietly unnerving vibe. Cushing, known for Hammer horror, found it to be the strangest cameo of his career. 9th, cow in boots gag was brutal. One scene that stands out is the cow in boots. Getting that gag on film was a hassle. The production built a life-sized cow costume with oversized rubber boots, then stuck a poor stuntman inside. Under the hot lights, the stuntman apparently sweated buckets, but the comedic payoff, a nonsensical image of a booted cow wandering amid German soldiers, was worth it. The directors had to control their laughter as they filmed because the moment was so unexpected. 10. Extras were given mini-gags. Zaz believed that background extras shouldn't just loiter. They gave them comedic tasks like walking into walls, stubbing their toes, or fiddling with random objects. At times, the camera only caught these minor gags for a split second, so you'd miss them if you blinked. It was all part of the airplane approach. If one joke fizzles, another 5 are coming right behind it. 11. Lighting had to highlight jokes. Cinematographer Christopher Challis remembered the difficulty of lighting scenes crammed with sight gags. If they used typical Hollywood lighting, it might wash out a prop-based joke or overshadow a pun scrawled on the wall. The solution was to keep a flexible setup, letting the comedic elements remain visible. This approach took longer but gave Top Secret the comedic layering that fans love to discover on repeated viewings. 12. Underwater bar took weeks to shoot. The underwater bar fight was one of the movie's most ambitious scenes. They constructed a bar set inside a giant tank, then had actors pretend to brawl as though gravity was reversed. Val Kilmer recalled that trying to look nonchalant underwater while wearing a costume and avoiding actual drowning was borderline impossible. They used scuba divers standing by, ready to supply the cast with air if needed. The final effect is a bizarre, dreamlike scene that looks effortless but demanded weeks of planning. 13th. Kilmer bruised from constant comedy. Kilmer joked that comedic acting took more out of him physically than any drama he'd done. He was constantly flipping over tables, jumping around, or performing random dance moves. By day's end, he'd be covered in bruises, with a voice hoarse from belting out rock tunes. He said it taught him the value of comedic discipline. Landing a joke can be as tough as nailing a dramatic monologue. 14th box office flop. Cult later. Despite coming from the creators of Airplane, Top Secret wasn't a runaway success in theaters. 1984 was a crowded year with Ghostbusters, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and other big hitters dominating box office. Many folks who might have enjoyed Top Secret simply never heard of it or assumed it was too odd. Over time, word of mouth turned it into a VHS and cable staple, letting it find the devoted audience it has now. 15. Mixed reviews. Later praised critics at the time offered mixed reviews. Some adored the wacky energy, praising the comedic inventiveness. Others found it overly random and nonsensical, lacking the straightforward comedic thread of Airplane. As the years passed, many reappraised it, calling it a brilliant spoof overshadowed by the popularity of Zaz's earlier works. Sometimes overshadowed movies become cult favorites, and that's exactly the path Top Secret took. 16th, Zaz used joke overload method. The comedic method for Zaz was joke overload. They believed that even if half the jokes didn't land, the other half would. So scenes were stuffed with puns, visual pranks, or bizarre dialogue. The directors told the cast, "Don't worry about subtlety, we want big energy." Val Kilmer said stepping into this comedic tornado was both thrilling and dizzying, especially for a rookie actor used to more structured sets. 17. Every set had hidden jokes. The never waste a set rule guided them to insert quick gags wherever possible. If they had a corridor, they'd figure out how to have a character slip on a banana peel. If there was a barn, they'd randomly show a donkey wearing a hat. Crew members found it tiring, but the results speak for themselves. Repeated viewings revealed jokes you never noticed the first time, hidden in corners of the frame. 18. Kilmer dubbed Golden Boy. Kilmer gained a new nickname on set, the Golden Boy. Not only was he a fresh face, but he also played an Elvis-like star in the film, singing rock ballads to adoring fans. The entire cast teased him about his teen idol potential, especially after seeing how effortlessly he carried the microphone and guitar. Kilmer, however, downplayed it, preferring to keep the comedic vibe going rather than play up any heartthrob persona. 19. Mixed Cold War plus Nazi tropes. The storyline satirizes not just Elvis musicals, but also World War II spy flicks. The script merges references to Nazi Germany with Communist East Germany, creating an intentionally jumbled timeline. The comedic confusion is part of the film's charm. One minute you see soldiers in Nazi uniforms, the next you're hearing Cold War references. This anachronistic stew keeps the audience slightly off balance, setting up more comedic opportunities. 20. Pac-Man cameo almost cut. There's a fleeting cameo by Pac-Man, nearly cut due to legal fears. The Zaz team included a quick shot of the classic video game character munching away in the background. Ultimately, it was so brief that no lawsuits ever materialized. Eagle-eyed fans still squeal with delight whenever they catch that cameo, a blink-and-you'll-miss-it testament to the film's Easter egg mania. 21st. Actors often improvised lines. The directors sometimes let Kilmer and other cast members improvise lines. If Nick Rivers was bantering with the main villain, Zaz would encourage Kilmer to toss in random one-liners. That spontaneity shaped the film's comedic tone. It also gave the cast a sense of ownership. Lucy Gutteridge recalled days when she'd try an offbeat comedic reaction, only to find it made the final cut. 22nd. Dinner extras made actors break. The dinner scene with Hilary Flamand had Gutteridge struggling to keep a straight face because the background extras were assigned comedic business. Some dropped plates in perfect unison, others performed silent comedic sketches. Every time she started a serious line, she'd glimpse a waiter tripping or a random object falling, forcing her to stifle laughter. 23rd. Rock star cameo never happened. A cameo by a major rock star was rumored, possibly Mick Jagger or David Bowie. The cameo never happened, either due to scheduling or second thoughts. Zaz replaced it with a cameo from a lesser-known musician who contributed to the soundtrack. Fans speculate about what could have been. Some say if Bowie had popped up, the film might have gained more mainstream notice. 24. Some said Chaos hurt story. The film's comedic structure emulates Airplane, but also tries to top it with bigger set pieces, including the underwater bar fight or an elaborate escape scene. Some viewers felt it was too much, too soon, overshadowing the comedic storyline. Others embraced the chaos, calling it the pinnacle of Zaz's fearless comedic style. The debate continues among fans. 25. slogans hidden in backgrounds. The set designers outdid themselves with bizarre propaganda posters. For instance, you might see a slogan in half German, half English, praising the local Volks freedoms. Observant watchers notice these in the background for mere seconds. It's a prime example of how top-secret, jam-packed comedic details that reward repeat viewings. 26. Home video built its fan base top secret, developed a cult following largely through home video and late-night TV. People would rent it out of curiosity, then re-watch it multiple times to catch missed jokes. By the mid-90s, it was frequently cited in comedic circles as an underrated gem overshadowed by Airplane or other mainstream comedies. Some high-profile comedians even listed it as an influence, praising its brazen approach to spoofing. 27th. Singing helped prep for Morrison. Val Kilmer's singing throughout the film includes tracks like How Silly Can You Get? After filming, some in the industry noticed his vocal range. Years later, that singing skill proved handy when he portrayed Jim Morrison in The Doors. Kilmer credits Top Secret with helping him conquer stage fright about singing in front of a crowd. He often joked that if he could do an Elvis impersonation in a neon wetsuit, everything else was easy. 28th. Soldiers had to act silly. For the scene featuring East German soldiers, the directors insisted that each soldier do something comedic, like stand in a silly pose or recite lines backward. The extras found it strange but followed orders. The result is that no background character stands still. Everyone does something weird, ensuring every corner of the frame brims with comedic possibility. 29th. End credits were full of jokes. The end credits themselves include jokes with random disclaimers or fake thank you notes. This trick was also used in Airplane, but Top Secret takes it further, teasing fans to stick around until the screen goes blank. While not everyone catches these hidden details, those who do appreciate the extra comedic icing on the cake. 30. Cast calls it insane and beloved. The cast and creators reflect on Top Secret as a joyous, if slightly insane, experiment. They took the spoof formula from Airplane and melded it with Elvis musicals, WWII epics, and random comedic chaos. Val Kilmer soared into stardom, Lucy Gutteridge treasured the surreal memories, and Zaz learned that comedic innovation sometimes confuses mainstream audiences but delights a loyal subset of fans. Today, people who discover Top Secret often hail it as a comedic gem waiting to be rediscovered. For all who love pun-packed scripts and elaborate sight gags, it's a movie that stands the test of time, reminding us that imagination and a dash of silliness can go a very long way in cinema. In the end, Top Secret might not have eclipsed Airplane in popularity, but it carved its own niche. The hearty mix of big band rock numbers, outlandish Eastern European villains, and out-of-left-field visual jokes proved that comedic storytelling has no boundaries. While the box office might not have embraced it fully, those who gave it a chance found a film as playful as it was reckless. The spirit of that carefree approach resonates with fans even now, decades later. Perhaps that's the magic of comedic experimentation. You never know when a wacky spoof about a singing spy might become someone's all-time favorite. And if Top Secret taught us one thing, it's that the best jokes often come from mashing up the unlikeliest of worlds. Elvis meets espionage. What could be more delightfully absurd than that?